Welcome back, everyone. We've been getting a ton of requests lately
Yeah, a lot of people asking about,
for a deep dive on those I Tried It articles.
especially the stuff they've been doing on data analytics.
Yeah, data analytics. And I got to say, we've been loving their work too, so we figured, why not? Let's dive in.
We went through, well, a whole bunch of their recent articles.
Yeah, a stack of them. But don't worry,
You do not need to be like some data whiz.
absolutely not. I Tried It is all about,
Making this stuff practical.
exactly, practical stuff you can actually use.
Whether you're running a business
Thinking about starting one,
or just,
curious about this whole data-driven world we live in.
which, let's face it, is all of us these days.
Pretty much. And let me tell you, some of the stuff I tried it found is seriously impressive. Like one company just tweaked their demo video based on data
It's a little tweak.
and saw a 30% increase in sales just from that.
It's crazy what a difference the right data can make.
It really is. So I think a good place to start would be to kind of unpack this idea
Definitely.
that data can help you understand your customers
Like, really understand them.
on a whole new level.
But it's got to be more than just numbers, right?
Right. So what do you mean by that?
Well, we all have these ideas, right? About what our customers want,
Sure.
how they behave, what they're thinking.
Assumptions, basically.
Exactly. But data shows us what they actually do.
Not just what we think they do.
Huge difference.
Like that example I tried to give about the online store.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
They analyzed their customers' purchase history, and it turns out
People were buying certain items together.
all the time. But the store wasn't selling them as a bundle.
Classic missed opportunity.
Totally.
Yeah.
So they started offering those bundles,
Based on the data,
and boom, sales went up.
it's so simple but so effective.
It really is.
Yeah.
Makes you think about all the data we generate online every day, right?
Yeah.
Just from browsing, clicking, buying stuff.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. It's like this whole other picture of who we are out there in the data sphere. Okay, so I've talked about understanding customers, but I tried it. Also mentioned this thing called predictive analytics.
Which sounds super futuristic.
It does. Like, are we talking about fortune telling here?
Haha, not quite, but it's basically using past data to make some educated guesses about the future.
So like a data-driven crystal ball.
Exactly. And we see this all the time, like,
When Netflix recommends shows.
yep. Or those customers also bought suggestions on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it goes even further than that, right?
Oh, yeah, way further.
Yeah.
One I Tried It article talked about a company using predictive analytics to figure out which subscribers were most likely to cancel their service.
Wow, that's smart.
Right. And by reaching out to those people
Proactive
with
them.
personalized offers.
They actually reduced their churn rate by 15%.
That's huge for any subscription business.
Massive. Okay, so we've covered understanding customers and predicting their behavior, but how does all this data actually translate into,
Cold, hard cash.
exactly. Boosting sales.
Right, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Well, for a lot of folks anyway. So how does data do that?
Well, I Tried It had some great examples of how companies are using data to improve their sales strategies. And one of the key ideas they talked about was lead scoring.
Okay, lead scoring. That sounds kind of technical.
It can sound that way, but it's actually pretty simple. Think of it like this. You're trying to figure out which potential customers or leads
Okay,
are most likely to actually buy from you.
makes sense.
So you give each lead a score based on their actions and behavior.
Gotcha.
So for example, someone who downloads, say, a white paper from your website, they might get more points than someone who just visits your homepage.
Makes sense. They're more engaged.
Exactly. So the higher the score,
The hotter the lead.
bingo. And this lets sales teams focus their time and energy on the most promising leads.
Instead of chasing everyone.
Right. They can prioritize those who are most likely to become paying customers.
That's efficient.
Very. And I tried it. Had this great example of a company. Remember that one we mentioned before? The one that boosted sales by 30% just by changing their demo video?
Oh, yeah? What'd they do?
Well, they used data to figure out that leads who watched the demo were way more likely to buy.
Interesting.
So they started incorporating that video into their sales process as much as possible.
Simple change.
Huge impact. Because it was based on data, not just gut feeling.
That's the I tried it magic right there.
Oh, sure. Makes you wonder, what other areas of our lives could benefit from that data-driven approach?
It's a good question. And one we're going to keep exploring as we continue our deep dive.
It really makes you think, right? Like,
Yeah.
where else can we apply this data stuff?
Well, that's what's so cool about I Tried It. They didn't just focus on sales and marketing.
Oh, no, they went way beyond that.
They showed how data can totally revolutionize customer support.
Which might seem kind of counterintuitive at first.
It did to me, because I always thought of customer support as being, very human-centered.
Right, about empathy and building relationships.
Exactly. But I tried it, made a really compelling case for how data can actually make support more human,
Not less.
which blew my mind a little bit, not gonna lie. So how does that work?
Well, it's about using data to understand, really understand where customers are having problems,
Okay.
and then proactively giving them the help they need before they even have to ask.
That's smart.
Right. One of the articles talked about this company that was getting bombarded with support tickets about the same issue.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
That's the worst. It was all about setting up their new software.
Ugh, yeah, setup can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So what do? Just hire more support people?
Nope, they took a data-driven approach. They analyzed all those tickets, figured out exactly where people were getting stuck, and then they created these super detailed setup guides and videos.
Ah, so people could just figure it out themselves.
Exactly. And you know what? The number of setup-related tickets plummeted.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not only did they solve a major pain point for their customers,
Yeah.
but they also freed up their support team to focus on the more, complex issues.
The stuff that actually requires a human touch.
Right. Talk about a win-win.
Totally. And it shows how data can help you shift from being reactive to proactive.
I like that. Instead of just putting out fires, you're preventing them.
Exactly. And speaking of anticipating needs, I tried it, had some really interesting insights about chatbots.
Chatbots. Those little automated helpers that pop up on websites.
The very same, which, they haven't always had the best reputation.
Yeah, people tend to find them kind of annoying.
Impersonal, robotic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I tried it. Actually made a really good argument for how chatbots can be a great way to improve the customer experience.
When they're used the right way.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So how do you make a chatbot less annoying and more helpful?
It's all about strategy. Don't try to replace human interaction entirely.
Okay.
Use chatbots for those simple, frequently asked questions that clog up your support channels.
Like basic stuff that everyone asks.
Exactly. Think about it. If a customer can get an instant answer to their question about shipping costs or return policies, they're going to be happy.
It's all about instant gratification these days.
It really is. And in the meantime, your human agents are free to handle the more complex issues.
The stuff that actually requires, a human brain.
Exactly. It's using technology to make things better for everyone.
I like it. And I tried it, had an example of a company that was doing this really well, right?
They did. They implemented a chatbot to handle all those basic product questions, and it led to a 40% reduction in their support ticket volume.
Wow. And did customer satisfaction go down?
Nope, it actually went up.
That's amazing. So it seems like the big takeaway here is that data can make customer support more efficient.
More proactive.
And ultimately more human.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And, that kind of leads us to another area I tried it, explored, how data can be used to just build better products in the first place.
Yeah, because sometimes we build stuff that people don't actually want, right?
It happens all the time. We think we know what people want, but data can give us that reality check.
It's like the bridge between what we think people want and what they actually want.
Perfectly put. I can't tell you how many times I've used a product and thought, who designed this?
Right. Like, did they even talk to any actual users?
Exactly. Data can help us avoid those design disasters.
But how does it do that?
Well, for one thing, data can show you what features people are actually using.
Okay.
And which ones are just sitting there gathering dust.
So you can focus on what works.
And dish what doesn't. I tried it, had this really interesting case study about a software company.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
They discovered that one of their features, something they thought was super cool, was barely being used.
Ouch. So did they just scrap it?
Not right away.
Okay.
They took a step back, analyzed the data to figure out why people weren't using it.
Makes sense.
They got feedback from users, redesigned the feature based on those insights. And guess what? Usage skyrocketed by 50%.
That's a great example of how data can help you build the right things.
The things people actually want and will actually use?
Exactly. But here's the thing. All of this data, magic, only works if people are willing to share their data in the first place.
You're hitting on a really important point, because in this day and age, with all the privacy concerns out there,
That's a big deal.
it is. People are understandably hesitant to just hand over their data.
So how do we address that?
Well, I tried it, really emphasized the importance of trust and transparency.
Okay, I like it.
If people don't feel like their data is being handled responsibly and ethically, they're not going to share it.
Makes sense.
And that's why I really appreciate, I tried it's focus on, clear privacy policies, permission-based marketing, and strong data security.
It's not just about collecting data, it's about using it the right way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In a way that respects people's privacy and builds trust.
It's about finding that balance, between the power of data and the responsibility that comes with it.
100%. And that's something that really came through in all of iTriedIt's work. They're not just telling you how to use data.
They're also making you think about the ethical side of things.
And how to use it in a way that benefits everyone.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into all things data.
With our friends at iTriedIt.
Yeah, what I tried it. I want to leave you all with something to think about.
A little challenge, maybe?
Yeah, a challenge. Think about one area in your life where you could use a data-driven approach.
It could be anything, really.
Oh yeah, it could be your work.
Your hobbies.
Even your personal relationships.
The possibilities are pretty much endless.
They really are. Like maybe you track your spending to see where your money's actually going.
Or analyze your workout data to, improve your fitness routine.
Ooh, or pay attention to the patterns in how you communicate with your loved ones.
See if you can find ways to connect better.
I tried it. Had all these amazing examples of how people use data to improve their lives.
Like one writer tracked their sleep patterns and caffeine intake.
No way, really?
Yeah, to figure out the best time to have their coffee for maximum productivity.
So data can help you hack your morning routine.
Apparently so. It's all about finding those little insights that can help you make better decisions.
I love it. And the best part is you don't need to be a data scientist to do this stuff.
Nope. Just start paying attention.
Asking questions.
Looking for those connections.
And if you're looking for some inspiration, definitely check out iTriedIt.
They've got tons of great articles on all sorts of topics.
From marketing and automation to customer support and product development.
All written in a super clear and engaging way.
So there you have it, folks. Embrace the power of data.
You might be surprised what you discover.
Until next time.